What's up, everybody? It's your favorite, every Mixmaster's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Toyworld's Concrete. There's some interesting stuff going on with this line. And I can't say that all of it is for better, but they included all of the bio cards. You know, I never show the bio cards because who cares? But they included the whole set with this one. It's like the, it's just like they like I don't know. It's like they keep making like little mistakes, and they're like, oh, just put it all with the same one. And it doesn't matter. It's a small deal. It's just, this is on loan to me from Jisk because I haven't ordered these guys because I want the second run. The second run supposedly has the replacement elbows for Scavenger and Bone Crusher just in case, even though mine are fine as of now. It comes with a pistol. The pistols are like don't seem to be accurate how I remember them. I'm not sure if it's a Studio Ox thing, which this set is designed or inspired by, but whatever. It has red paint on it. This red paint is better than the scrapper one, although this one could have probably used a second coat as well. Also comes with this big thing here, so to speak, and that can also plug in for the super absurd look if that is your thing. This handle flips down, and he can hold it for Devi mode. And it's got some silver paint on there. It looks good. The gray, that looks great. The gray might actually be a plastic. Silver paint looks good. Translucents, the same purple translucents that we've seen throughout. And then finally he comes with these two things. They're cut right off the sprue, nothing really applied. You can hold down this button here and insert them both. Hold pressure, release the tab, and then if you'd like, you can fire them off. Cool accessory. Well, you know, whatever. It's nice. There's another little gimmick, and that's this bit, which we've seen. Wind her up. There you go. That's what all the rage is about. But a lot of people I've seen complaining about the cement bit here not being purple, but I don't think it's purple in the Studio Ox design. I will double check before this video is done, but I think that they're just being true to the source material. And we got the gray and yellow paint there. Probably should have been black, but not a big deal. If it matches the others, then I'm good with that. Yellow paint up there, that's good. Perfect place for a decept symbol, and I definitely appreciate the accessibility to it, unlike the scrapper one, which we'll talk about later. Silver paint there, which all looks good. The gray paint looks good. The red paint even here looks okay. Could have used a second coat in some places, but all in all, not bad. That's that red going over a darker color. It's just harder to pull off. Underneath here, we do run into the same problem that Scrapper has, where that's the place where the decept symbol goes there, but it's going to be difficult to get to that. So that's going to prove to be a bit of a challenge. Rolls fine on rubber tires, and purple translucent for the windows, which you know I love. I love when they do stuff like that and make it more cartoon accurate or whatever. So that's all good. All in all, pretty decent vehicle. Size comparison wise, there he is next to Tiger Track, so he's a big boy, as he should be, and I'm good with all of that. Let's get it into combine mode. Open these up here. There's two things I like to do, because you know me, I'll forget a step before you can think twice about it, and then pull this piece down here and this piece down here, and these are like all unlocking things that you have to do to get this to kind of to work smoothly for you. Open this up. Hopefully this will prevent me from forgetting to do something later on. And then on the underside, flip these up. Be careful because you're putting a lot of torque when you're moving this piece, which puts a lot of stress on this bar here, so just be mindful of that. You got to do it a little bit to get it started, but the moment you can kind of wedge a finger in there, go for it. There. Everything is looking alright. I'm keeping my eye open because I found a couple stress marks on the other one. Alright. Then you want to rock this down. Same like per usual, right? Bend this back up, and then those tabs go into those holes there, or pegs. That's something I'm not good with under pressure, is the whole tab, peg, slot, tab, port bit. This is cool. I like this a lot. So you slide these down, rotate them in, and then slide them back. One of the big problems with Devastators is that these wheels tend to do more harm than good when you're trying to stabilize the combined form. So that does make me feel Uh-oh. There we go. Good to go. Close these back up. And then close this back up. And get it all lined up. Secure that. And that's all really for what this is. It's pretty smart. You'll get the ankle rocker there, per usual. But no, oh yes, you'll get a bit of a ankle tilt as well back. So that's cool. That should all work well. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Let me get you a size comparison. I'll do the same thing I did for the other one, which is this fella. So it's a pretty massive thing. It looks like it's going to shape up as such. We're going to do the robot transformation in 2 phases, mainly so I can adjust the camera. Alright, so basically you kind of want to undo what you did here. And you can untab those. But be careful of this. This is a little bit of like making sure you undo everything. The pinata effect, right? And that one is giving me some grief. Alright. Open that up. And I'm putting my fingers in there, so to speak, so that I can push from the underside and not put any additional torque on that. And then that should allow you to unpeg this. You can separate these now. It'll help. And actually, I wonder if, yeah, these tires should probably, I'm not sure which way the tires are supposed to be, but it feels like it wants the tires to be on the outside. So that's what we're going to do. There we go. Alright. Now, we want to open this up here and bring the foot out. Same on the other side. What is it getting caught up on? See, there's some odd tolerance things here, and I don't think I'm putting any undue stress on it, but it doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies as I'm doing it, and I can't see what I'm doing because it's all taking place inside of here, but it just doesn't feel good. And then you can close these back down and make sure your windows are, oof. That's not good. And that's all on translucent plastic, so especially not good. This one works like a champ. Alright. Now, fold this all the way around. Hope you saw that. We'll show it again. Fold this down here. It's 2 hinges. Fold it at the second hinge. And then collapse that. And then for the foot, you fold out this piece for a heel spur and do the exact same thing on the other side. So rotate this all the way through. On the back, close at the bottom hinge and then fold in. Take the foot, flip out the heel spur, and that's the bottom part of the bot done. This section is a little bit more challenging just because of clearance issues. You can untab these. That's easy. These are tabbed in to here, and then I also think to the back of here. So there, like that, Robert. And let's then bring them down. Tight joints. There's a lubrication sprayed in there. Alright. Actually, this whole piece here, I'm trying to get it so that you can see it. See where it's tabbed in right there? See if I can get you on the other one. It's going to pull right in there. There. Now that will allow you to get the shoulders out of the way and then deal with the backpack. So those two tabs on the back there, can you see them up in there? They're going to tab into the purple bit. And in order to do that, you kind of got to bring this drum up, which is on its own hinge, and then tuck this back around and tab it in like that. Good night. I don't like that tolerance at all. Same for the other side. Turn it and then spin the gray piece at the base to allow you to tab it. Oh no, that's much better. Okay. But were they both? They should. There. That's perfect. That's what we want. So we'll undo this one. And we'll tab that back in. There. Great, googa mooga. Okay, for the forearms, there's a number of ways that it could sit because they're pretty much identical on both sides. But I think that this side will allow you to get a more relaxed state for the bot. On this side, it doesn't much matter because they both bang in, so to speak. But I feel like the lower one here fits a little bit better. And then let's see where we're at. Do our favorite transformation. Once again. This wrist is really tight. All right. Oh, lastly, open that up. They did paint inside there, which I think is nice because it covers it up. There was no need for them to paint that. And this is on a sliding mechanism. And I just made that pop off. Let me get that. Luckily, it just tabs back in. And then this piece here flips down. And you have his kind of signature hood. And we'll talk about this fella. Head sculpt is okay. I think it's actually pretty cool, but it doesn't feel like Mixmaster to me. It feels like, honestly, it feels cooler than Mixmaster, but it just doesn't feel accurate to how I remember Mixmaster. I had to go back and look at the cartoon image, and it is in the ballpark, but I don't know. There's definitely some character in there with the face sculpt. Nice silver paint. It's red light piping, but there's no way for the light to get in, so it just looks dead in the face, which is unfortunate. They should have just painted the eyes, but I feel like a broken record. Red paint there on the sides. That looks good. and then the head is on a hinge swivel, and you do get a lot of articulation. You get a good amount up, a good amount down, and the swivel, so that all works fairly well, if you ask me. Shoulders are on a universal joint here. It is attached to this kibble bit here, so that is a little obnoxious. It's basically on a universal joint. You get the swivel here. You get a hinge and the chest, but you don't really get it because this kibble piece here on here. So what you can do, what they did to work around it, was to move that joint there. In between here, this bicep swivel, you have a lot of lubrication, and it's just oozing out between the joints. I don't like that personally. It makes me, I mean, I hope you guys can see that. It's just kind of gross. And elbow ratcheted hinge gets you 90 degrees. Wrist swivel, which is also super tight. Fingers are on individualized ball joints. I'm going to talk more about that in the scrapper review. Like I said, not sure which one of these is coming first. These are not toleranced as well. They're a little loosey-goosey. He will hold his gun. And you just, let's see here. My wife just got home. My kids are going to go nuts. He has to hold it. It seems like he has to hold it at a bit of an angle. So I'm not crazy about that. But maybe that's because it has to go on this other side. Let's see. That might be the case. Either way, not crazy about it. And yeah, they're all on ball joints at the base knuckle, but you can't do much with it because the fingers are all bent, so it doesn't lend itself to much posing. Paint here still shows through, still looks good. Silver paint on the shoulders looks good. Red paint on the chest looks good. Silver paint there looks good. He does have the Sassy Bot waist lean, mainly because of the ankle rocker for combined mode, but it is there. He also has a waist swivel. If you, I think you can untab like that. Where is it? I know there's one in here. Ah, there it is. I see it. Down here at the bottom. So that's where the waist swivel is. Not the best, but at least it's present. At least they didn't have to do that. I feel like that is a call above and beyond duty, and they did it. And then this, if you want to get this out of the way while you're transforming into stuff, if the option is available to you. There's actually good paint underneath there, which is nice to see as well. Tab that back in for now, though. For the hips, you can rotate these flaps up. The yellow paint, it's all sorts of outside the lines on this one. This side, it's okay. You can flip these up. The silver paint and red paint in there look pretty good. Red paint on the side looks good, as we spoke about before. We got T-jointed universal joints. Get you up to there, non-ratcheted. Squeaky, squeaky out to there. And back to there. Squeaks the same on the other side, if not worse. Thigh swivel is built in to the bottom of the universal. And then we have the knee, which does work better than Scrapper's, getting you 90 degrees. All the paint and stuff shows through, so that all looks good. And then we have ankle tilt on a ball peg and rocker on a ball peg. Heel spur that can articulate, or toe, depending on how you utilize it. So all in all, articulation is pretty much good to go. Even with its like awkwardness, there is some workaround stuff. All that detail, paint, sculpt, etc. looks pretty good. I do wish, and it's possible that I don't have this 100%, but I do wish that sat a little better, like if it plugged in or something. But all in all, not a bad effort. So there he is with the two arms. And there he is with the Generation Toy one. Now, I definitely like him better than the Generation Toy one, but it's mainly because I don't like the Generation Toy Mixmaster. But we're going to talk more about the two sets at the end. I can't tell you which set is best right now. There's pluses and minuses to both, and I actually have a lot of thoughts about both, so I'm going to keep those thoughts to myself until I'm ready to make a complete and informed opinion. Final thoughts wise, the negatives for this, the big negatives, the tolerance issues. Like, there's tolerance issues all over this thing. I haven't noticed any stress marks on this one, but there are not major, that's not really fair to say, but there are at least one that looks like it could be at a pretty pivotal point in the bot on the other. There's just like everything is stiff, like stuff is lubed up, and it's all very strange. We're going to talk a lot more about this when we get to Scrapper, or if we've already done Scrapper. Not totally sure, it's a mystery. But there's stuff about this that feels knockoff-ish. like just in terms of quality and weight. Like, you know what? That's not fair. It feels like it's oversized. Like, it feels like this was a Voyager and somebody upscaled it. I can't quite put my finger on exactly how to articulate how I feel about it. Like, it's fine. I think this is good. I'm looking forward to getting mine. I'm keeping them in bot mode. And I think that because they're so light and kind of airy, for lack of a better term, that like, I think that the combined mode will probably be pretty stable because it won't have to support a ton of weight. But it feels like an upscaled version of something else. I think that's what gives it like a cheap kind of knockoff feel to me. But overall, I think it has a lot of things going for it. It's just something, you know. I'll just say it twice. When I first saw these, I wondered how they were going to do them at $100, and now that I've gotten these two, I know how they did it. But I dig the overall sculpt and aesthetic, and I dig the very G1 look. I like the colors. I like the paint. I like the articulation. I like all those things. I do feel like they're playing a fast one on us here a little bit, but that doesn't take away from it being a good product. It's just I feel like I finally cracked the code as to why these things were able to be so inexpensive for their size, and I think that everyone that has these would agree that that's probably where the corners are being cut. And to be fair, I'd rather them be cut in those sorts of ways than to be cut with lack of articulation or lack of paint or all those sorts of things, which this guy does have. So, if you're in for the set already, I wouldn't let my words discourage you. If you're not in for this set, once again, I think that it might be worth waiting to see how this all shakes out. Because I am starting to see chinks in the armor on both sides. And we should have expected as such. But I am starting to see some weaknesses. Hopefully those weaknesses won't stop either set from being enjoyable for your purposes. Like, I'm going to have these guys in bot mode. On my Masterpiece shelf, I'm going to have 6 Constructicons in bot mode, and they're going to serve their purpose just fine. I don't need to worry about it. And I think if you were doing the same, you can put faith in that as well. I think that if you're going for combined mode, time will tell. I think if you're just going for a most bang for your buck, I'm not sure this is the right set. There's just so much room on these things, like especially in the thighs and the backpacks and calves and forearms, where it's like you feel like they should do more. It's like, you know, it's like when you have a Tupperware drawer. Like, it doesn't matter how sorted you make it. It either A, becomes a mess and you can't use any of it in 20 seconds, or B, never quite fits right. And there. And now the Tupperware drawer is completely organized. Let me just close this and get a clean one out of the dishwasher. Oh, looks like we just have this lid to put back in. I'll just put it back in. What the? Outside of that, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.